Welcome to Soveryn Podcast, the voice of independent Luxembourg.
Hello, this is Paul Connery, host of Soveryn Podcast, where we discuss the highs and lows of startup culture, being independent and building a brand. Today, we are here with our good friend, our recurring friend of the podcast, Trev Downes.
Afternoon.
Yeah, nice one, man. We are into week 4 of my training. We're into week 5, but we're reviewing week 4.
Correct.
And, not only are we building a brand, we are here building a body. And in fact, Trev was just reminding my body, I've got to get a little bit more enthusiasm about this.
Correct.
So, in a quick review, last week, the targets were to hit about 6,000 steps a day.
Yep.
Sometimes it was over, sometimes less, but it evens out. 3 trainings. So,
Correct, 3 trainings.
Yeah, so 6,000 steps a day, 3 trainings, one of them which was with you.
Correct, yep.
And last was to focus on the wins.
Correct, yep. That was really important. Focus on those positives.
Yeah. So take us away, Trev.
Right. First thing, the first 3 podcasts have been out. I've had more questions about, do I only own 1 T-shirt? So the fact is I own 2 T-shirts.
Very good.
So I've put the second one on today.
Very good.
When we started this, I've said on every podcast, we've not planned it. It's live, it's real. It's a first time for me. It's a first time for Paul. Last week, as I rode away like I always do, I'm thinking, is this going to be repetitive? Have I got it wrong? This week, it's not repetitive. So we've had 3, what I would say, consistent weeks of everything happening as it should happen. Where this week I've had a couple of interesting ones. And I'm going to jump straight in. What I consider the most important one is Paul, the middle of the week, gave me his first negative comment since I met him.
Is that right? I don't even remember.
Yeah, and I said to Paul, we just talked before we started this, and I said, I'm not going to mention it till we get on air because he's not going to, because he doesn't like to be negative. But he said to me, I'm moving, and I appreciate I'm moving, but I'm moving slow. Yeah. I'm moving slow, and I don't feel like I'm making progress.
Yeah.
And again, this is every time. This is nothing new, it's every time. What's different with Paul is such a positive guy who's really proactive. So I'm going to start with a quick memory lane. And I want to remind you, Paul, how you talked about aching feet, aching legs, tired, exhausted, not wanting to put the watch on. 3,000 steps, you weren't making 3,000 steps in that first week. You miss your training.
Yep.
You didn't document.
Yeah.
All that has been forgotten. So I just want to bring that back.
You mean in terms of wins, like I've progressed and that's been resolved?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is you're saying to me, we've not really, we're progressing, but not much. If you could actually put your mind back on that morning where you told me about your aching feet and legs, you've come a huge way.
Yeah.
So a quick recap. Week 1, wear the watch, motivate, monitor.
Yeah.
That's what we did. It wasn't easy.
Yep.
It was on off, it was hit miss. Week 2, this is where the growing pains came in. You was aching from your training, you was aching from your walking, you was aching from me getting on your back every day about getting those steps to me. And then week 3 came. Week 3 was all good news.
Yeah. It was kind of a routine.
That's exactly. And the highlight of the week 3, you got in with the group.
Yeah.
And whether it's like everything, when things weren't going right, you'd got like negatives to focus on. Everything's going good. And you've almost, I think, you've created a negative by saying, we've not come very far. So I just want to remind you.
That's interesting.
We've come a long way. All right?
That's a powerful comment about doing anything in the world, I think, is if there isn't a negative, don't look for one.
Yeah.
Because I haven't. Yeah. Because when you're faced with challenges, man, it's like I'm always amazed by your statement of there's no small wins, they're just wins.
Yeah. We did slightly off track. I mean, I helped Paul with an event last night. I am the eternal optimist. Maybe I see the whole world through rose-rimmed spectacles, but that was a great evening, totally successful. I walk in here, Paul, great night, great this. And you sort of go, yeah, it was good. But it's like there's always something that's holding you back. And I think this is what we're going to get into.
That's interesting.
On the training side of things. So, from that, 3 weeks to get into the groove.
Yeah.
We are in the groove. No 2 ways about it.
Yep.
We've hit the groove. We're on the tracks.
Yep.
And I'll expand on it later on why I'm so confident of that. I want to jump into the boxing. You came to the training It was outdoors. The weather was awful. You turned up and we trained.
Yeah.
And we trained for 20 minutes. We do a quick circuit on a tyre. At some stage, I've got people asking me about what are the actual exercises. At this stage, the podcast is more about me and Paul. I will find a way that I will produce these exercises so anybody who is interested, you can see what's going in. So basically we do a 20 minutes, it's not a warm-up, it's beyond a warm-up. We go round a tie, we work all the body parts. Then we get the boxing gloves out.
Yeah.
On the boxing, it's 100%, it's all in. You went all in. Halfway through the boxing, it started raining. There was a group of us. Everybody on the park was diving for cover except us. And we boxed.
We kept boxing.
We literally.
And I mean, it was raining.
Yeah. So we boxed through it, and I partly did that deliberately because I wanted you to experience not just the physical, but the rain, like the rain in your face, your clothes soaking wet, and exhaustion. When we'd finished, we sat under a tree. Whether it's back to childhood, I don't know, but there's a feeling when you've trained outdoors. You've got soaking wet, it really brings something to you. So I just want to say that was a great evening for me and you.
Yeah, it was.
Superb. Right, we've now got data to build on.
Yeah.
That makes my life very easy.
Yeah.
Very, very easy. And I'm not treating you like a machine, but I can fine tune I don't know if you can feel it, but I know what you're up to now and we can really look at it. And this week, we talked about the steps. Paul started, he wasn't hitting 3,000 a week. This week, he was aiming for 42, and he's hit 48,000.
Yeah.
That is a huge, huge improvement. And you're coming on in a minute, and I don't want to feed you the words, but I am interested in what were those legs like compared to week one? Not now, but I just have a quick think.
Well, I mean, at the end of week 3, I would say that I was actually looking forward to the challenge, even if sometimes it wasn't as easy.
Yeah.
I was glad that I was working out. Whereas in week 1, I was annoyed.
Right.
It's not annoyed. It's kind of like it's basically what I've already said to you before. I know what it's like to be in shape.
Yeah,
I'm not in shape, and so I'm just frustrated that I'm not, and so I don't want to do it.
Yeah, got it.
And so just pushing through it. Whereas week 3, it's sort of like I'm back in the groove. And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I don't know if you're on film now, but I can tell you now, it's the first time I've had a real grin off Paul since we started. So for me, that's my first grin, and that's a win, because that's what I'm looking for. This is like where I always go. So we've got through, we're on the tracks, we move in. I am now going to drop the F-bomb.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the food.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about before I go into it with you, fitness and overweight, I don't relate. My primary concern is getting you fit. And this is what I'm always going to say to you. I'm interested in your weight, you're interested in your weight. But what we need to avoid is focusing on kilos, weight loss, appearance. We're focusing on getting you fit. That's the data we get from your fitness. And I think the whole world is full of these. You go online, you find it all, lose 20 kilos in 10 days and do this and do that. What I'm interested in is getting you fit. And the food, for me, it's as much, I want to get the energy in you. Yeah. I want you eating the right food to train. I don't want you to eat the right food to lose weight. That'll come.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus. So over to you. And I want you to, like last week, just before I went, it was like, what is it where you struggle with the food? That's my first question.
So I think it's a very complicated question and it's a complicated answer. But what I do know is that there have been numerous times in my adult life where my weight has come up and down. It's been quite fit, quite thin, and then it can go up fairly quickly. And the issue is that for the most part, I don't eat very badly. What I'm not is I'm not steady, and so food is the primary drug. So when I'm stressed, when I'm tired, when I'm unhappy, I'm very likely to eat something not healthy.
Right.
And it's even exacerbated by not being in a healthy exercise regime and not being accountable to someone like you with like the watch. But when it's also the counter is also true. So once I start training and being accountable, I'm very much less likely to be reaching for something poor.
Right.
So it's literally a vicious cycle.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to hold off with the... What I do is I always start with the food diary. Like the training, for me, it's slowly, slowly, slowly. No rush, no rush, no rush.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold off another week with the food diary. So what I do is I get people, just to be honest, filling, like we did with the steps the first week, filling a food diary, nothing too specific, nothing too scientific, just to see what you're actually up to now. We're going to leave that one more week.
Yeah.
What I am going to do is give you the document, let you have a look at it.
Yeah.
And then next week we will make a start.
Yeah,
that's
very
great.
good.
And I'll think about what you've said.
Yeah.
The other one is I want to talk about your aches from week one and the way your body feels. You know, I have a theory about what happens once you get going. So how's the body after training? And
So
walking?
after training, it is sore, particularly after some of the boxing.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't used some of these muscles in a while, and you know, no matter what happens, the adrenaline comes up and you start throwing punches.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to be throwing your arms around. But I'm not a 17-year-old kid anymore either. And so later you feel a little bit of,
Yeah, that's a factor.
The muscles are a bit sore.
Yeah. Are you tightening up at all?
I wouldn't say I'm tightening up. I actually think I'm looser, but there's that good feeling of the muscles having been used.
That's great.
Yeah, it feels positive.
That's good. That's what I want to. That's exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And again, we'll do it slowly.
Yeah.
High and low. I don't know if you can. Anything jumps out.
Again, it was just for me. It was about Sunday. The low was knowing that on Sunday I wasn't going to spend the whole day or the latter part of the evening, on the canapé watching TV, knowing that I was going to have to get into my trainers and go work out. And the opposite of that is true right after the feeling of accomplishment.
Wow.
And eating with my family afterwards, I came back and I ate with my family, and I felt really good. I had a shower, and I felt rejuvenated and ready for the week.
That's great.
So thank you for that.
No, it's a pleasure. We'll build on that. So. Again, before we came on air, we had a quick chat. One of the things we've realised is not only is Paul in the groove, like we're in the groove, we're becoming more efficient, and so we're kind of breaking it down into sections. And the final section is what we call the future. So next week, the steps, I think we keep the goal at what we had this week. I think, why push? I'm going to ask you to think about the food. The goal for the steps remains the same.
Yeah, okay.
And I just want this is all about consolidation.
Yeah.
We've got the process, we've got the motivation, let's now consolidate it. The training, we're going to stick to the 3 sessions.
Yeah.
The 2 sessions alone, this is the last week, they will stay the same.
Yeah.
But we'll keep them the same, and I don't think I'm even going to have to push you. One with me.
Yeah.
That one with me, it's easy when you're with me. It's so easy for me to push you to the limit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave the Sunday session, or we'll do the format. We'll do a training session. We'll do the boxing. We'll do something else.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to keep taking you to the limit every week you're with me.
Yeah, cool,
and
man.
That's how we'll go. Food diary. Nope. I think that's good. We'll leave the food. I'm umming and ahhing about the food diary. Do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it.
I would say let's start next week. I'm ready to deal with it next week.
That's great. Yep, thank you very much. Right, anything for you before we finish?
No, I'm looking forward. I would just like to say thank you for getting me started.
Yep.
Here's my high. I saw my GP today.
Yes.
And he looked at my watch, and he's a sports guy, okay? He's hardcore. He's a marathon runner, etc. And he said my steps count was better than his this week. So
wonderful.
So thank you, Trev.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
Cheers.